Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show the importance of working with grayscale and how that can massively improve our realism drawings when working with this wonderful medium. Now for this tutorial I decided to draw a vulture, a really interesting bird, but my main focus here was the contrast, those values, rather than lots of detail. Now working with grayscale enables us to use a medium where we can practice the layering techniques, the pencil technique, without having to worry about the exact colours we should be using. Now this is also a great approach if we are newer to a medium because we don't have to invest as much money in more art supplies. Just working with a few pencils and a good quality paper means then that we can get an idea whether or not we're going to like that medium before fully investing. Now as I'm starting to build my values here, I really want to capture my main lights and darks and the placement first of all. So when I work with my base foundation, and this would be the same if I was working with colour, I do want to hint at that light and dark placement because that is going to help build up the shape and form. Now the placement of the highlights and shadows is never random, it follows the underlying bone and muscular structure. So as I start to work with the highlights and shadows around the eye, this is going to be forming the eye socket and how that then attaches to the rest of the skull. If a shadow or a highlight is moved and therefore not following that correct placement, then this can actually then impact whether or not it might appear that there's a lump on the face, a completely different skull shape, and that then of course would not resemble that animal as closely as it should. Now one main advantage with working with pastels is that we can adjust the pressure on a pencil to then only put in a thinner layer of pastel, a heavier layer of pastel, and that will also then adjust the values and colour more considerably depending on the effect we're trying to create. Now when working with grayscale here, I can use that same pressure variation to give me a range of my values. So although I am using some grey pencils here, I could actually just use a white and a black pencil, adjust the pressure more of a mid-range, and then I'd be able to get a darker grey instead. This again is another great exercise to practice because that pressure on the pencil is invaluable when we then work with colour. Now as I'm using my white Carbothello to hint more at my lights and the placement of that, this is where I'm noticing the light source. If there is a stronger one-sided light source, I do want to make sure that I've captured that and hinted at that early on. If I can try to follow as much of that reference photo as I can, then it's going to then make the advanced pencil techniques for realism easier to work through. It's not going to be as daunting. If I try to split this up one step at a time, only focusing on the technique that's needed, then it just helps then to simplify this process as much as possible. Now another way that I like to do that is to work in small sections. I don't like working with one solid layer for my base, then my next layer for the entire subject, and so on. I do like to get an area of that drawing about 80-90% complete, and then I can always come back to it for those final layers. But if I decided to have a break at this point, it's already looking like that reference photo, and it's incredibly motivational to feel that way. Now when I'm working with applying some detail here, I really wanted to make sure that I didn't force it too much. The size of this drawing is 6 by 10 inches, so it's not massive. I therefore needed to make sure that I got the balance of the details right. Now when working with colour or grayscale, I do want to be making sure, as I've mentioned, that my contrast is my top priority. Now when working on a slightly smaller scale, I want to be aware then that the values are backing up the detail. I would rather focus on those values, the ranges of my highlights, midtones and shadows, rather than cramming in lots of detail to sort of make that look more realistic if that then meant that the layers underneath were covered up. So if I'm trying to force too many pencil strokes and I lose my darker foundation, then I know I don't have space for that number of detail in that area. I need to come back with that, maybe cover that up potentially, work with my contrast again, and then limit the amount of pencil strokes I add on top. Now, that's only because I personally feel like for a specific project, especially on this size, as I've mentioned, that the values are going to be what makes this drawing look more realistic rather than more detail. Of course, if I'm working significantly larger, if this was on a 16 by 24 I would have more space to prioritise details and values. But on this smaller size, the contrast here is something that I would always favour. Now, another aspect of pencil technique that can be easier to practice when working on grayscale is that flexibility that we can use darker pencils over lighter layers, or of course lighter pencils over darker layers. Now, as I'm working with my pencils here, you've seen many times that I've started more with a mid-tone and then I've added the black Carbothello over the top. With lighter pressure, I can mix that in and give me a darker grey. I can then really practice and refine the pressure used and what the end result is going to be with that value. Now, only when I've then got my base foundation where I want it to be, can I then consider detail. One of the biggest causes of lack of depth when aiming for realism is that the details are added too soon before the base layer is ready for that stage. Now, a great example of the base foundation is I like to have something that's quite well blended and soft. If I have any harsh edges or I feel like my base layer is sometimes a bit sketchy looking with that paper colour showing through, then I know I don't have as much pastel as I need for that very first stage. The other consideration as well is I might actually use 3 or 4 layers of pastel pencils to get my base foundation where it needs to be, rather than just working with one solid layer. And this area on the neck here demonstrates that. All of this that I'm currently doing, I would still class this as my base foundation. So although I've started with my lighter pencils because I wanted to make sure that I didn't make my base layer too dark, I'm still coming in here and adjusting that before I'm considering those details, which I will be adding later on. Here with this mid-tone, I'm working with my softness. So I wanted to darken that layer. I've used my black Carbothello, and then rather than using a blending tool, which is an option here, I'm instead trying to get more softness with my base foundation and using a mid-tone pencil instead. Now, this technique of using the pastel pencils instead of blending tools is something that I do explain and cover thoroughly in my real-time step-by-step lessons. If they are of interest, then I will link the information to those in the description below, but if you have any questions relating to that, feel free to pop them in the comments. If I do feel like I don't quite have my layer at this first stage dark enough, I will then always come back and darken it before I add any texture. And there are many occasions where I'll start using my lighter pencils for details and then I'll think, no, do you know what, that isn't dark enough. I need to come back in with those darker pencils and hype up that contrast even more. I actually do that here in the next few seconds. And it's only when I start working with that lighter pencil that I'm questioning, I want my highlights to appear brighter. And this is something that's really important, both with grayscale art like this and working with colour. If my lighter pencils, my lighter colours, because this also applies for paint mediums as well, if they're not showing up, then that is an indication that either the base layers underneath aren't dark enough or the area next to it isn't dark enough. So let's take the highlight in the eye. If I was using my brightest white pencil, it's as light as I can possibly get it, but that highlight is not bright enough in my drawing. That tells me that the area around the eye, maybe the pupil or the eyelid, the dark marking if there was one, isn't dark enough, and by darkening that highlight in that eye will immediately look brighter. So this is definitely something here where working with grayscale can massively refine that aspect of working with realism. Now, as I started working on the body, this is where I'm using the same softening and blending techniques that I mentioned for the base layer on the face, but for this area of the drawing, I'm going to be extending that as I continue with my layers. There wasn't any detail on the body as such, and it was definitely this out of focus effect that I was really desperate to capture. Now, there are a couple of ways that I can do this. You can work with pan pastels or soft pastel sticks for your base foundation, or you can work just with the pastel pencils as I am here. Now, the reason that I didn't use pan pastels is purely because I wanted to keep the material list as limited as I could for this, being that I wanted to show how you can create realism in grayscale with very few supplies. But if I was using pan pastels, I would still hint at my light and dark placement. That would be exactly the same. But I would want to make sure that I was aware of how much of that pastel I used. I wouldn't want to fill the tooth of the paper right from the beginning, just because then I wouldn't be able to add layers with my pastel pencils. Now, I do speak about this a lot in my other videos here on YouTube where I am using pan pastels. I speak about the importance of the tooth of the paper. So I will link a couple of those in the description if they're of interest. So something I would just like to mention here, because I don't do this hardly ever in my pastel tutorials, is you can see that I am using a Rembrandt soft pastel stick here just to get my base layer brighter. Now the soft pastel sticks, because it is a bit more of a softer pigment than the white Carbothello, this is able to get that much brighter value that I wanted. However, I would be very cautious about doing this approach if I knew I had to use my pastel pencils for my additional detailed layers. Now, because this area of the reference photo is blurry, I'm not going to have any detail here at all. I was confident that I could use my soft pastel stick without worrying about the tooth of the paper. But this is certainly a real consideration. We don't want to be filling the tooth of the paper, and I personally find this is much easier to do when working with soft pastel sticks, that I want to avoid that at all costs if I know I've got lots of layers left to add on top. If you do have any questions about filling the tooth of the paper, maybe a specific issue that you're running into, let me know in the comments below. I'm always happy to help if I can. So another aspect that can make drawing realism easier is by noticing the order of that reference photo and building the layers accordingly. So at this point I had got the body drawn in, I was happy with the values, the softness, and now I can start to work on the neck. Because the neck is in front of the body, that's how it would be if this bird was in front of me. I'm able to then replicate that depth, more of that structure in this drawing. So starting with my base foundation, as always, I'm not having to work with a lighter layer because this area of the neck had a bit of that shadow to really replicate the curve structure of the neck itself. And I didn't need to go too dark here because the shadows weren't anything like they are under the face or on the beak. So by assessing how dark the base layer needs to be, it is another way again that I can simplify this process. Pastels is very forgiving, so if I had made this layer too light, I can simply come back in with my darker pencils as I've shown throughout this video. But I want to be making sure here, first and foremost, that the base layer is dark enough because of those issues I mentioned about the highlights then maybe being a bit dull as a result of that. Most of the time the concern is that the base layers end up a little bit too reserved, where more caution has been given of that fear of going too dark, because going too dark we worry that we're not going to be able to lighten it. But if everything ends up too light because of that concern, then the drawing will actually look more flat, more two-dimensional, because it doesn't have those darker values to help with that shaping of the animal that we're drawing. And here on the side of the neck where I'm using my black Carbothello to darken that shadow, you can really see here how that minor alteration to those darker values has really helped to add more of that shape to the neck. It brings it further forward, it helps to just really enhance that depth significantly. This again here, as you can see, I'm using my white soft pastel stick just to add in a bit of those lighter clumps of fur. I don't really like to use the soft pastels for the sticks for the details, but for something like this it's very, very effective. So I do hope this video has been useful. If it was, I'd be very grateful if you could give it a like and a thumbs up. It makes a huge difference to my channel. I do also upload a couple of videos to YouTube every week, so if you would like to get notified of that content, then don't forget to hit the subscribe and the bell button. If you do have any art related questions, feel free to pop them in the comments. I'm always happy to help if I can. And if you are interested in drawing along to the real-time version of this Vulture or any of my other step-by-step lessons, I will also link the information to those in the description below as well. I'm going to be uploading another video at the end of the week, but as always, thank you so much for watching.